This is the OC Media Network, and this is the presentation of L2C Sports. It's great to be back. And this is Sports Final with Steve Baxley, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. I'm Harry Von Stuttgart. It's great to be back, and now here's the Baxman. Hey, what's up? What's shaking? What's crack-a-lacking? How y'all doing? Good evening, everybody. And welcome to a Wednesday full of fun and uniqueness. We have everything for you, some NFL news, some Major League Baseball news, college basketball news, and everything else you need that's news. But first, we welcome back in a pause that refreshes. Don't we have the, yes, we do have the, well, let's bring in the audience. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Audience has returned. We thank you all very much for listening in, and I have the instrument, the musical instrument of love, the kazoo, because it is NHL hockey season number 2021. That's right, 56 games, 4 divisions, and 1 goal to try and get it all in before the next disaster happens. But anyway, we're glad it's back. How do I know we're glad it's back? Well, because we got some scores for you. That's right, let's do it properly. Okay, we're going to get some scores for you. Of course, everything else has to always come along and get a little whistle. So right now, let's give you a little bit of opening night Dynamite, kids, in the National Hockey League. 56 teams. And, wow, what can I say? But, with the Stanley Cup Finals wrapping up in late September, hockey finally returns for the 2021 season tonight. Some very high-profile matchups on ye old slate. Of course, we start off with the defending Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning. But right now, let's give you an update on the late starters. First off, after the first, or as we enter the first intermission, the Blues lead the Avalanche after one period, 2-1. 4:11 remaining in the second period, and the Canucks and Oilers are tied at 1 apiece. But this game got started with the Penguins and the Flyers. It's the Battle of Pennsylvania. Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Flyers surprisingly won 6-3. The 3 stars were Federby for Philadelphia, 1 goal, 3 assists. Gustafsson for Philadelphia, 2 assists. And Hayes for Philadelphia, 1 goal, 1 assist. There you go. Final in overtime, and wow, what a debut for the Leafs. It went to overtime. They beat their rivals, Les Canadiens de Montréal, by a score of 5-4. Nylander for Toronto, 2 goals, 1 assist. Tavares for Toronto, 1 goal, 2 assists. And Anderson for Montreal, 2 goals. Guess what? Those are your 3 stars right there. And then we had the banner raising ceremony. The Stanley Cup was in prominence. And the Lightning, well, they did what they had to do in opening night. They beat up Linda Steele's Chicago Blackhawks 5-1. And all I can say is, wow. We have no report yet on who the 3 stars for that game are. Hopefully, we'll have it before we say bye-bye. But those are the games that were on tonight's first night schedule. By the way, for those of you interested, and I know you do care, otherwise you wouldn't be here, But tomorrow, where's the love? Here are the games that are going to be debuting tomorrow. We hope you will watch you. Let's give it to you straight. Okay, Washington's at Buffalo. That'll be 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus from the KeyBank Center. The Battle of New York, the Islanders and Rangers, 7 p.m. That'll be exclusively on the NHL Network from the Garden. Boston at New Jersey, 7 p.m. That'll be, of course. Do we do it? No. Let's do this properly because, well, we gotta do it properly. Make sure we do things right in this world. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get to the schedule for tomorrow, courtesy of our friends over at the National Hockey League. Duncan Shane. I know we gave you most of them, but we wanted to give you all the games coming up tomorrow night. We're going to keep doing this, give you every night's game, so everything will be, gosh dog, very well. All right, let's put it to a vote and see what develops. Thursday night, Washington at Buffalo, 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. For those of you in New York City, that'll be on MSG and NBC Sports Washington. And in Canada, Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet East, and Sportsnet Ontario. Boston at New Jersey at 7 p.m., MSG Plus and the New England Sports Network. Islanders, Rangers, 7 p.m., NHL Network, MSG Plus 2. And for Canadian folk, it'll be on the French-Canadian Sports Network, TVA Sports. Carolina takes on Detroit live from the arena that Pizza built, 7:30 p.m. Fox Sports Detroit, Fox Sports Carolina. And yes, for now, we have to still call them Fox Sports because the name change will probably happen sometime in the middle of baseball season. Columbus takes on Nashville at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports Tennessee, Fox Sports Ohio. Calgary at Winnipeg, 8 o'clock on TSN 3 and Sportsnet West. Vancouver at Edmonton, 9 o'clock on ESPN Plus, Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet Pacific. San Jose at Arizona, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Fox Sports Arizona and NBC Sports California. Anaheim at Vegas will be seen on NHL Network, AT&T Sportsnet Rocky Mountain, and Prime, and, of course, Fox Sports San Diego. Mm-hmm. Minnesota takes on Los Angeles, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Fox Sports West, Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Wisconsin. Dallas at Florida has been postponed, and that is your list of games hockey-wise Thursday, the 14th of this very month. So there you go. And here we are. As we give it to you straight, because we know you like it that way. Yes, we do. Okay, we go from that to the NBA. Let's get you some scores before we hit the NBA report. And we got a couple of games about to go into the fourth and final quarter, unless there's overtime. 4:29 remaining in the third. It is Sacramento Kings 96, Portland Trailblazers 87. 2:50 left in the third. Clippers 77. Clippers of Los Angeles 77. New Orleans Pelicans 67. Final scores, we got them. You want them, I'll get them. Dallas Mavericks 104-93 winner over the Charlotte Hornets. Milwaukee Bucks gave the Pistons another reason to lose, 110-101. The Brooklyn Nets gave the Knicks a big old ass kicking, 116 to 109. Los Angeles Lakers came through in the clutch, beating the Oklahoma City Thunder 128 to 99. Grizzlies over the Timberwolves 118 to 107. Jazz, Wizards, Magic, Celtics, and Hawks and Suns postponed this evening. And speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, wow, this was a bomber. Now let's explain said bomber. This was a bombshell. As you know, before the season started, James Harden wanted out of Houston in the worst way. Well, he finally got his wish. Oh, boy, did he get his wish. James Harden is getting the trade he wanted. The Houston Rockets are sending their former MVP to the Brooklyn Nets in a massive blockbuster deal that includes 4 teams and multiple star players, according to reports from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN and Shams Charania of The Athletic. Now, here's what the deal looks like in full based on, well, the current reporting. And this is something good, but here we go. The Rockets get Victor Rodonius Kurix, Dante Exum, 4 unprotected first-round picks, Brooklyn 2022, 2024, 2026, Milwaukee 2022, and 4 unprotected first-round pick swaps, 2021, 23, 25, and 27. And out of all this, get James Harden. The Pacers get Karis LeVert, 2023 second-round pick from Houston. And the Cavs get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. Now, Harden has been pushing for a trade to the Nets, specifically since initially requesting a trade during the offseason. He played with Kevin Durant with the Oklahoma City Thunder for the first 3 seasons of his career. And now that the 2 of them have reunited, Brooklyn is going to have one nasty, deadly front court offense by far. Now, considering how much they just gave up, though, the Nets still have work to do if they plan to build an all-around contender. After a hot start defensively, the Nets have given up 113.2 points per 100 possessions in their past 8 games, ranking 25th in the league in that span. Now, Harden is not known for his defense, and neither are most of the role players that remain in place. Still, the Harden-Durant pairing with a practically limitless supply of shooting should give Brooklyn quite a bit of leeway, as they are likely to have the NBA's best offense. It should only be confirmed when Kyrie Irving returns, but the fringe benefit is that Harden provides a measure of insurance against either injury or personal absence on Irving's part. The Nets have 2 offensive superstars, regardless of what happens with Irving now, and in all likelihood will enter the playoffs with 3 of them. Now, the Rockets, meanwhile, appear headed for a full-scale rebuild, and it was one that they needed considering the assets that they've already lost. Houston owes first-round picks to the Thunder in 24 and 26, as well as swap rights in 21 and 25. And with no path to immediate contention in sight, they needed to use Harden to refill their coffers. Now, they've done so with this deal, earning full control over Brooklyn's draft capital through 2027. Now, the Nets may be dominant now, but once they age, those picks are going to be quite valuable. Meanwhile, in acquiring Oladipo, they've given themselves a path to a short-term relevance. He and John Wall may both have injury concerns, but at their best, they are both all-star caliber players. Now, the deal may not be great. The Rockets, franchise centerpiece, the deal may not grant the Rockets the franchise centerpiece they've been hoping for, but it gives them more freedom to rebuild at their own pace without necessarily tanking it, or without necessarily tanking. Now, it'll be a frustrating few years in Houston, but once Harden publicly declared the situation unfixable, the Rockets had no choice but to move on a deal. They've done so. Now, Let the retooling begin. Now, Pacers were proactive in turning Oladipo, who will be a free agent at season's end, into LeVert, who was under contract through the 22-23 season. The budget-conscious Pacers will now pay LeVert only $52.5 million over the next 3 seasons, when they might have to give Oladipo the max to keep him. Cavaliers were in a somewhat similar position with Andre Drummond, whose contract expires after the season as well. They've replaced him with Allen, whose contract expires as well this offseason, but who is a restricted free agent. Cleveland can match any offer sheet made to him, and as he is only 22 years old, he fits the timeline of Cleveland's young lottery picks: Sexton, Garland, and Okoro. Now, I've got to say, CBS gave the Brooklyn Nets a B on this trade. And the Houston Rockets a C. Now, what makes this trade a little esteemed is the following. The taxpayer mid-level exception, which they elected not to use during the offseason, will allow them to sign a player on the buyout market for a prorated portion of $5.7 million, depending on when exactly they sign the player. Now, a disabled player exception, which they have applied for in light of Spencer Dinwiddie's partially torn ACL. Now, if the league rules that he will miss the season, the Nets will be awarded a $5.7 million exception. That's half of Dinwiddie's salary to use in either the buyout market or on a trade. Dinwiddie's $11.4 million salary itself and the full bird rights that comes with it. A team is interested in signing Dinwiddie this offseason or merely looking to move off some long-term salary would be interested. So, all in all, not a bad trade for both teams. Way to stay proactive. It's 50 minutes past the hour, and you're on Sports Final with yours truly, Steve the Baxman Baxley. It's great to have you here on a Thursday, January 13th. Let's get you back with some more headlines for you, and we do so with vim and vigor. We have some NFL news for you, folk, and this is somewhat bizarrely disturbing, but we'll just read it anyway. The Miami Dolphins are coming off just their second winning record in 12 seasons. In just the second year of the Brian Flores era, ending with a 10-6 record, but ultimately missing out on the playoffs. While there are certainly plenty of positive takeaways from this past year, there are also plenty of places for criticism, some of which is directed at rookie quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, according to a recent report from the Miami Herald. Now, the report in question cites 3 unnamed players expressing their concern over whether the former first-round draft pick is the right man for the job. One player basically said as much when it was revealed that the 22-year-old will be the starter next season. The player told the Herald, "I understand what they said, but I don't understand why." The players made sure to clarify they haven't quite given up on their young teammate. They remain hopeful Tagovailoa will improve. That is what the Herald story says. But the commentary from the anonymous group shows that there isn't quite a lot of confidence in how he stacks up to some of the best quarterbacks in the league. From the Herald report, the concerning thing to the players who spoke to the Herald is that they are not convinced Tagovailoa is going to be great in the future. They said they were unimpressed by Tagovailoa Tagovailoa, thank you, during training camp to the point where they thought he wouldn't be ready to play in 2020. They said they were caught totally off guard, as one put it, when Tagovailoa was named the starter, the 7th game of the season. Another said that before the season finale, when players were informed by Flores that Ryan Fitzpatrick would not be available to the Bills, He was disappointed because he believes Fitzpatrick was better than Tagovailoa. It's not an ideal situation. Concerns were expressed over the ex-Alabama prospect's quarterbacking talents beyond his accuracy, which isn't the terrible thing to have for what it's worth, and the country is being set very high. The ceiling is being set very high for the quarterback by teammates. So a lot of stuff. There, Josh Allen set multiple franchise records this season. Patrick Mahomes can only win MVP award in Super Bowl at just 25. And Deshaun Watson is one of the most electrifying players in the sport, despite of Texas's front row appealing and appearing to actively make life more difficult for him, including Tagovailoa to live up as a rookie. This is good, is it not? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. Let's go from the NBA and NHL to give you some college basketball. There you go, my impression of college basketball. And as always, our main scoreboard is sponsored in part by William Hill Sportsbooks. Excuse me, folks. Where are we going? Oh. Let's keep going here. In college football, well, if something big happens, we get it for you. And boy, do we have something big for you. And here it is. Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian took the vacant head coaching job at Texas earlier this month, which left a hole in the Crimson Tide coaching staff heading into the 2021 college season. That vacancy is in the process of being filled. Now, Bill O'Brien is the former coach of the Houston Texans and Penn State Nittany Lions. He's finalizing a deal to be named the successor of the Around the World in 80 Days, according to ESPN's Chris Lowe. The Athletic first reported before kickoff of the College Football Playoff National Championship on Monday that O'Brien would be Alabama's next offensive coordinator. Taking the job will mark O'Brien's return to the college sidelines for the first time since 2013, when he finished up the season of his 2 seasons as coach at Penn State. The Nittany Lions finished 4th in the Big Ten in total offense in both of those seasons and in the top 3 in passing offense. He won the Paul Bear Bryant Award and Maxwell Coach of the Year following an 8-4 campaign in the first season of the departure of Joe Paterno. That, of course, will come in handy in the pass-happy Alabama offensive that has evolved since Coach Nick Saban hired Lane Kiffin to run the unit prior to the 2014 season. O'Brien has plenty of college football experience under his belt. He made some stops as assistant coach at Brown University, Georgia Tech, Maryland, and Duke from 1993 to 2006. Now, it has been reported last week that O'Brien was in Tuscaloosa with Alabama coaching staff, and he was reportedly back in town this week. Excuse me, sir, where is cardiology? There we go. No, I don't want that. Why did I say that? My God, I must really be tired, and I am. Okay. We're almost at the top of the hour. We're going to go till about 120. I can go for about 120. I can go for 420, but that's it. Okay, that is it for that report. Okay. Let's keep going. Also, if you can get it in a minute. Also in Major League Baseball, MLB now joins a lot of companies and other stuff in suspending political contributions from the league's political action committee. That's right, Major League Baseball is the latest entry to suspend political contributions in the wake of last week's deadly invasion of the U.S. Capitol by insurgents loyal to President Donald Trump, reports the Associated Press. Major League Baseball is suspending political contributions from the league's Political Action Committee. League released the following statement to the AP. Quote, in light of the unprecedented events last week at the U.S. Capitol, Major League Baseball is suspending contributions from its Political Action Committee, pending a review of our Political Action Committee contribution policy going forward, end quote, the league said in a statement to the AP on Wednesday. Since last week's insurrection, several companies have suspended contributions to members of Congress who voted to overturn President-elect Joe Biden's victory. Major League Baseball is among the organizations to suspend political contributions altogether. Major League Baseball really donates to the candidates on both sides of the aisle as part of its long-running. Oh, goody. Excuse me. We'll just do that a little later. Right now, we have this pause for the cause. This is Sports Final. And a little reminder that right now, if you want to, you can join Nick Ricada on the Ricada Law channel on YouTube. As Amazon has a response for Parler and more. That's tonight with the humble Minnesota attorney, Nick Ricada, and his guests. And I will tell you this, folks. Anyway, there you go. It's midnight at the Oasis, and we are going to about 12:20 more or less. But excuse me, I had the on there for a while. Eyes are getting ready to do a little drop. Oh boy. Okay. We're getting there. There we go. Can we get that up, please? Thank you. All right. Oh. Oh. Excuse me. All right, let's get to more headlines before we forget them all. Man, get a little poopsy outsy. The Astros have signed. Yes, they have signed. Wow. No. Ugh. Oh, excuse me. All right. The Astros finally also did something. Might as well just say Houston was the place today for baseball. And as we told you earlier, basketball trades. Arizona did something pretty spectacular. The Houston Astros have agreed terms on a 2-year contract with free agent reliever Pedro Baez, according to Jorge Castillo of the Los Angeles Times. Baez, known for working at an antagonizingly slow pace, had previously spent his entire ocean sprees. What did I say? Well, the Houston Astros agreed terms on a 2-year contract with free agent reliever Pedro Baez, according to Jorge Castillo of the LA Times. Baez, known for working at an agonizingly slow pace, has barely spent his entire 7 years big league career as a member of the Dodgers. Baez's contract included a club option and will be worth 12 to 14 mil in guaranteed money per Jeff Pazin of ESPN. Baez entered the offseason ranked by our friends at CBS Sports as the 34th best free agent available. He was the third highest ranked reliever behind Liam Hendricks, now member of the White Sox, and Brad Hand, still available. So there you go. Congratulations. Houston gets something big here. The 32-year-old Baez is the second veteran added on the Astros they made to their bullpen this month. The Astros have previously signed right-hander Ryan Stanek after he was non-tendered by the Marlins to a 1-year contract worth $13 million. Okay, it is 12:05. We start this at 11:35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, so that's about the size of it for some headlines, and for any others, we'll bring it to you. But right now, who we got left in the scoreboard? Oh. Excusez-moi. All right. Let's rock and roll. Dan Le Batard and John Skipper reportedly intend to create a progressive sports media company. Well, that's not bad. Following a report of former ESPN personality Dan Le Batard reunited with executive John Skipper for a new media venture, details regarding the direction of this endeavor are coming to light. According to Front Office Sports' Michael McCarthy, the intention is for the Le Batard Skipper project and its content to take a progressive, liberal-leaning angle. This would put the rise at odds with the conservative tone and commentary established in recent years by Outkick. Now, perhaps signaling where he wants his content to go, Le Batard has been especially outspoken against Outkick founder Clay Travis following the U.S. Capitol riot by Donald Trump supporters. Quote, on his podcast, "This is what was wrought. This is what was going to get here because of everything you saw happening over the last 12 months to us and everywhere, because I've got something for that bleep-stained Clay Travis who wants to set it out now when he was having Trump on his infomercial podcast. Dixie vodka, cheap. Just getting Trump to format this space and then walks away and says, hey, I never said anything about violence." And it goes on from there. McCarthy reports that Skipper is pursuing talent who used to work for ESPN, including Jamel Hill, Bomani Jones, and Kate Fagan. Hill confirmed to McCarthy that she has indeed talked to Skipper about a role in the new company. She will certainly draw attention to the venture she has hired during the past three years. She generated plenty of controversy for politically charged remarks about Donald Trump, Jerry Jones, and Nick Saban while at ESPN. Now her involvement will surely compel some to avoid the website and the content it eventually produces, but hiring Hill will represent Skipper planting a flag for the universe tone. As could be expected, Travis welcomed the challenge of an ideological rival tactic presenting itself. Quote, I take it as a badge of honor that Outkick is now being used as a template of a sports media company, even if they're going in a different direction. Acquiring the talent mentioned could be expensive, yet hiring anybody who will attract attention and move the proverbial needle likely won't be easy. Jones recently signed a contract extension with ESPN, and Fagan announced she'll be writing for Sports Illustrated. Now, in addition to her, Jamel Hill is Unbothered podcast on Spotify and Stick to Sports Talk Show with Carrie Champion for Vice TV. Hill created her own production company with the undefeated Kelly L. Carter, Large Freeway Media. She's also currently writing for The Atlantic. And that's just in front of the camera, on the mic, or in print. Numerous producers, directors, editors, and engineers will have to be hired for this new venture. Of course, a whole lot of talent is now available following the numerous layoffs at several media outlets, including ESPN. Then there's the question of just who might lead this venture and oversee its content. According to McCarthy, Skipper has 3 people in mind for a job, each of whom he barely worked with at ESPN. Eric Reinholm, who was the executive producer of Le Batard's highly questionable in the TV simulcast of his radio show. Connor Schell is in the process of leaving ESPN with eyes on launching his own production company. And that damn Jamie Horowitz, currently working with Skipper at DAZN following a high-profile dismissal from Fox Sports after he came in and hit a tsunami of disaster, which his infamous pivot to video initiative significantly set back that company's digital content. Now, potential talent aside, establishing itself as a sports media platform with a progressive view is certainly one way for the Le Batard Skipper endeavor to stand out from the other content available on the website, podcast, and video landscapes. We wish them well. Who knows? You might see me on there if I play my cards a little right to the vest. Just see what happens. Okay, and that is a little tidbit from Awful Announcing. Okay. Oh boy, feel tired. Okay, big old hello to friends at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Minds, Gab, and of course, TikTok. And with that said, folks, it's time for us. You scream, I scream. We all scream for the scoreboard. So let's get to it. And here we go with the scoreboard. Coming home to carry me. Come along to carry me home. Anyway. Oh, got a lot of things to do tomorrow. Take trash out. See if I can move that disaster of a vehicle to the side so that our rented dumpster can come in and we'll get things underway as we finish up cleaning. But right now, let's get you some soccer scores and basketball and everything else. Manchester United in the Premier League beat Brighton 1-0. Tottenham and Fulham ended in a 1-1 tie. In the Euro League, CSKA Moscow beat Zalgiris Kaunas 83-73. Bayern over Zenit Petersburg 82-80. Panathinaikos defeated Lyon Villeurbanne 88-71. In the Euro Cup top 10, it was Virtus Bologna 90-76 victory over Cedevita Olimpija. Unix Karzan over Morabank Andorra, 73-66. Partizan over Trento, 71-43. Monaco over Nanterre, 93-65. Juventud Badalona, 95-86 winner over Unicaja. Momar Bar, 2-point winner over Gran Canaria, 102-100. And some updates on the NBA contest. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Clippers lead the Pelicans 102-93, and Portland Trailblazers are pulling out in front of the Sacramento Kings 125-118. Also, we'll update you on the 2 games that are still going on in progress in the National Hockey League. 19 minutes remain. St. Louis 2, Colorado 1. And with 7 minutes remaining in regulation, it's Vancouver 4, Edmonton 2. Speaking of hockey, 2 games in Finland. In overtime, Kuku defeated Kalpa 3-2, and Karpet defeated Lukko 2-1. And there you go, a little bit of the biggie. And let's give you some scores from the other soccer games, and I think that'll probably end it for us tonight, because I am starting to get a little sleepy. So here we go. Before we continue on, let's get you to the scores. Let's do all the scores of soccer games in the area that they're in. Let's go to Wednesday. See what we have here. Did I do all these? Yes. Manchester City over Brighton and Hove Albion, 1-0. Aston Villa and Tottenham Hotspur postponed. Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham ended in a 1-1 tie. No action in Scottish Premiership or in the Championship, but in League 2 action, it was Mansfield Town over Oldham Athletic 3-2. For the EFL Trophy, it was Transmere Rovers over Leicester City under-21 4-2. The FA Women's League Cup quarterfinal, Bristol City Women over Aston Villa Women 2-1. No Scottish Cup to report for you or Lowland League action. German DFB Cup, Holstein Kiel and Bayern Munich ended in a 2-2 tie, but Kiel wins 6-5 on penalties. In the Coppa Italia, Inter Milan 2, Fiorentina 1, Napoli 3, Empoli 2, and Juventus over Genoa 3-2. No Australian A-League action to report. Belgium First Division A, Beerschot and Secure Burgas ended in a 1-1 tie. Dutch action goes like this. Alkmaar over Eindhoven 3-1. Venlo over Den Haag 4-1. Sparta Rotterdam over Sittard of Fortuna 1-0. Finiord over Zwolle 1-0. In the Greek Super League, it was Olympiacos and Salonika tied at 1. And there you have it. We have done the impossible in the impossible moment of time permittable. In other words, we've come to an end of our little show. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're about to hit the 45th minute, and that means our show is done. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place, with more of the same. I'm Steve, the Baxman Baxley, for everyone here on Sports Final. Good night. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. Back again tomorrow night, same time, same place. For Harry, I'm Steve. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.